Alright, we're going to take a look at the rhythmic version of Red Haired Boy. Remember that we're actually playing this out of standard tuning. So we're not in the modal tuning, even though we're playing a modal tune. We're going to go ahead and play this out of standard tuning because our approach here is going to be to play more to the actual chords of the tune and work a lot of drop thumbing, boom chicka, double thumb type of drop thumbing and rhythmic. Create an interesting rhythmic element with our right hand, and we'll go ahead and catch some of the melody notes as well and just kind of blend those two ideas together. Now that works out for me anyhow a little better out of standard tuning. So this is an interesting thing that we do in this modal lesson pack, is actually play a couple of the rhythmic versions for a couple of the tunes in standard tuning. Alright, let's look at measure number 1. Measure number 2, you notice, starts out with the 5th string note from the previous measure still ringing into the first half of that first beat of the measure. So we start with the thumb. Again, let me give you that second measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... That'll take us into the 3rd measure on this line. Again, we have a 5th string note that's going to ring over into the first half of the succeeding beat there. So let's listen and watch that measure one more time. That takes us to the 1st measure of the 2nd line. Now here we're playing off, when we get to the end of this measure, we're really playing off this F chord shape, which with the capo would actually be a G chord. We're kind of playing a partial version. We're playing off a partial version of this chord when we get to the end of the measure. See, we're playing the 3rd fret and the 2nd fret on the 4th and 3rd strings, and that's a piece of this F chord shape. So really right there, it's a good idea, good practice at this point in the tune in this measure to focus when you do strum there, to not go beyond those 2 fretted notes, because if you do, you'll get that note that's a little hard to harmonize, hard to legitimize that harmony there. So anyway, let me play you the 1st measure, 2nd line one more time. that'll take us on to the second and third measures of this second line. They're repeats of the couple measures in the first line. So same as the first two measures of the tune. Let me try it for you one more time. And then we move on to the first measure, third line. This is a familiar little melodic piece as well. We've already done this in a previous line of the tune. And this time we move into the second measure, the first ending. Simple measure, we're just playing a couple basic strums over a couple chords. So we slid in here on the previous measure, and we already have our, you should be using your second finger to slide into this third fret, second string. So when we get to this second measure here, we can just drop the first finger onto the second fret, and now we have a partial D chord. Then we open it up for the rest of the measure for an open G chord. I'm talking G chord, D chord. These are the shapes we're playing. Obviously with the capo, that moves them up a whole step. Let's go ahead. From there, we would go back to the beginning of the tune and repeat the A part. And of course, when we get back to the final line, we would move to the second ending. Again, we're playing this partial D chord shape to the open. But instead of strumming out that open G chord, we're going to play this little pickup note here. And that'll lead us into the B.